Lance Hall here for the Metal Pit. Happy to welcome Jennie-Ann Smith, lead vocalist for Avatarium, to the program. How are you, Jennie-Ann?
Thank you. I am very fine. It feels great to be talking to you and to be able to talk about our new album that's coming out January next year.
Yeah, January 24th, 2025. The album is called Between You, God, the Devil, and the Dead. I love that
Yeah,
title.
thank you. So do I.
I'm sure you've been asked this many times, but I have not heard the story. How did you come up with this phrase?
Well, I actually don't know. I keep a notebook with ideas, and so we almost 2 years now we ago since we started writing this on this album, and we went to the west coast of Sweden, where I'm actually from, borrow the
Oops,
just just by
you're,
the shoreline. And can you, yeah,
you're going in and out on me just a little bit.
yeah, can you hear me now?
I got you now. Yep.
Great. So yeah, we went to the west coast of Sweden, where we borrowed a house, and it was during the winter months. And if you've ever been to the west coast of Sweden, north of Gothenburg, then you know that it's very windy, cold, and quite harsh weather. Beautiful nature. But so I think that inspired us to work with new ideas. And actually, Marcus tried this chord, these chords, and had some ideas, and I had that phrase in mind, and we liked it, and so we tried some ideas, and we just left it and went on writing the album, and so actually it became the last song we finished, and we liked what it sounded like, so it became the title track to the album. Yeah.
Very cool. Now, you're speaking of Marcus. This is, of course, your husband, who's also the guitarist for the band, for the people who don't know
Yeah.
that. And he produced the album as well.
Yeah, a lot of hats there, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, the cover art is really cool as well. I don't dare to pronounce his last name. His first name was Eric, I believe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's Rovanperä, Erik Rovanperä, which
Okay.
is probably difficult to pronounce, but yeah, he's been with us since actually our debut album. So it's over 10 years that we've collaborated. So yeah, this, especially the vinyl, is a piece of art. It sounds great and it looks great. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, for the idea for the cover art, do you go to him? Does he come to you? Do you sort of meet in the middle? How does that come about?
No, I mean, when we come to him, we have almost a finished album. So we have, and on this particular album, we had, there's actually more pieces are written on piano. I mean, we write the music together, me and Marcus, and actually, I would say, even though this album is more back to the roots and more riff based than its predecessor, some of the riffs, the guitar riffs, was actually written on piano, both by mostly by Marcus, but also by me.
Mm.
So we talked about with Eric about that, about how sort of it's influenced by, the piano, and so they obviously it influenced him as well. There's a piano on in the artwork if you look
Yeah.
closely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah,
Nice. Let's get into the tracks a little bit because I got to listen to a copy, of course. I had the
yeah.
download for it. We'll start with track one, Long Black Waves. Just put out a lyric video for this. Um, to me, this song, as I was listening to it musically, I got two different things I wanted to throw out to you and get your response to. Musically, this sort of reminded me if you crossed Led Zeppelin's Dazed and Confused with like When the Levee Breaks, the way the pattern of the song went, I thought was fabulous. And that
Thank you.
darkness and the title with his long black waves and your lyrics and the way you sang them. I have a fear of water, okay? This
Hmm.
song made me afraid.
Oh, you felt it.
I
You
felt
felt it.
my fear of water
Oh yeah.
listening to you sing this song, and the way that music was, it was like I could feel that darkness. Yeah, I mean, I felt
Yeah.
emotion with
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then we reached something there in our writing, and so that's, of course, I don't want to scare you, but I mean that's the power of music, to be able to sort of move beyond the sort of
Definitely,
what what
definitely.
you can sense, and this, as a composition, I think I'm happy about how this turned out, both the way we wrote it. I think it's quite complete, and it sort of, it gives an emphasis of the Avatarium sound, which since the beginning have, I mean, our aim has been dark, heavy, and poetic, and I think this certainly is. And if you felt fear of water listening to this, of course it's about probably a nightmare that I had, feeling very stressed about various things, and
Yeah,
you know that fear. And then when you wake up with a, and you gasp for air, and you're very happy that it was just a dream.
yeah,
Um, so,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, and also uh, the reference you feel when the musical reference you
yeah,
feel when you're listening to this song is, of course, there can be, it can be traced to Led Zeppelin, or someone felt Rainbow and Dio, and I mean it's uh, I also like, I like how we integrate a more sort of gospel, dark gospel vibe in the beginning. I do not come from a metal or hard rock sort of background musical wise.
yeah.
I've been through. I mean, I've been listening. My whole teenage years was filled with Aretha Franklin and Ella Fitzgerald, and Otis Redding, and all
Yeah.
these great singers. You know, when I get a chance to sort of integrate that into what we do, I grasp the chance, and I think that's also what makes us unique. And there's um, there's this soulfulness
Yeah.
and something beyond, that it makes it interesting, and it has been since the beginning, when founding this constellation together with Leif Edling, and meeting with our different musical backgrounds.
Mm, definitely.
Mm.
Um, Track three, My Hair is on Fire, but I'll Take Your Hand. Fabulous title. You have great titles. Um,
Thank you.
but this song, I'm I got to spend some more time with this one. To me, there is a lot of depth both to this song with the music and the lyrics. Um, I mean, are you a person who likes to have people sort of interpret the songs on their own, or do you have an interpretation that you have with it, or
You
I
know
was going
what?
to ask you about a little bit about this song, how it came to be.
Yeah. Well, personally, I'm not a fan of having people sort of telling me what they mean when
Mm,
they write this or that. I want to be free to interpret myself, but
right.
it as a musical piece, we actually wrote this chorus for the previous album, and it didn't make it to the album. We couldn't find a verse, and we couldn't get it together, and we couldn't find a beat that we liked, and so on.
Right.
So it was just lying in the drawer, and so it had it had it actually, to begin with, it was more like a little Rammstein beat to it, which would have been totally wrong. And then I sat down by the piano, and I think the verse is, it's interesting how it sort of eventually became. It has a, when I listen to it, I hear Neil Young. I mean, I've
Mm,
listened a lot to Neil Young in
yeah.
my life. And there's this little twist in the melody where I hear, oh, that's Neil Young. He's sort of the spirit of Neil Young must have been there somewhere. Um, so 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 that, and that, melancholy and sensitive vibe, and then it sort of opens up in this um, double so bass drums, and it's a very dramatic
Yeah.
chorus, and
Yes.
it's also a dramatic lyric. I actually I happened to witness a suicide.
Mm,
So and which of course for anyone who does that, I mean, it's a life-changing experience. And
yeah.
this was an unknown man in the center of Stockholm who chose not to live anymore,
Mm,
and I did what I never got the chance to help him because he didn't want my help. But
right.
that sense of panic you have when you know that you want to desperately try to save someone, and you know you can't, and that's probably what I write about in that chorus. My hair is on
Mm,
fire, I'll take your hand. Life
mm,
is so unfair, but you can be sure I will protect you like no one has before. And of course, I felt desperate and panic. So
right.
so so that is a very heavy experience. But of course, I'm very lucky to have music to channel my experiences, my thoughts, and my emotions. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
very real.
Wow.
Yeah.
That, I don't know where to go next.
Yeah,
I mean
no,
that.
this
Wow.
is it is it has as I think that we, as a band, we've never shied away from, serious topics, and
Oh, absolutely.
which I really I'm very, if one can be happy about that, I am, because uh, I think life is too short to just throw it away on things that doesn't matter, and that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be allowed to be happy or just have have to be easygoing and have fun as well.
Mm,
I think I'm a quite light person, but I've never shied away from these, you know,
yeah.
more difficult topics. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Let's move to track 4. Lovers Give Kingdom to Each Other. This is my favorite track on the album.
Is
Um,
it?
yeah, it really is. I liked the acoustic part, the acoustic guitar on it. It's got like a darkness to it. To me, it was sort of Pink Floydish, to my ear.
Oh,
To my ear.
okay. Yeah.
I heard some Pink Floyd in there, and I love the long solo out. And there's a lyric in here: "The answer to all my needs from the solar plexus of our souls, electricity." And then he sort of
Yeah.
reprised it later with "I do surrender through eternity." I really like that. You made me think a lot with your lyrics to a lot of these songs.
Oh, I'm glad to hear. Thank you for telling me. And I actually I have a friend in the U.S., and his name is John Gaffney, and he helps me proofread my lyrics. And so when and he listens to or he reads the lyrics without listening to the music. So, and when he sent this back to me, his notes were like, "Oh, this is a new genre. It's romantic doom."
Yeah.
I think so. I think we might have invented a new genre, something to compete with the Viking stuff, or the whatever metal stuff that's going on. So I thought that was quite fun. But this piece is, Marcus had written this beautiful verse, which is, as I think we in general, we talking about shying away from something is, I think we there's this fear of being sentimental. I think we are never sentimental. I always strive for, an edge, both lyrical wise and musical wise, and in this case Marcus had made these beautiful sort of this beautiful verse, and with great guitar. So when I listen to it, I actually feel like, oh, this would have been even better without vocals on it, with great
Mm,
guitars. So, but yeah, I'm glad you like it, and
Yeah.
I
This,
I realized that when we're doing this promotional work, that many people seem to like it, and I'm happy about that because to me it's also a connection to Crosby, Stills and Nash, and
mhm.
which I
Yeah.
love. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I'm gonna jump down to track 6, Until Forever. And again, I love the intro on this. The intro on this, to me, if I was, I hope I don't sound too morbid now, but because I'm trying not to be. If I was to plan like my funeral procession, I would want the intro to this song.
Yeah, it's this is a dramatic piece, and it's very much back to the sort of our debut and the sort of the Doom core that we
Mm,
our Doom heritage that we are mindful of. And this Marcus had written something totally different for this piece to begin with, and I wasn't when he played that to me. I wasn't. No, I didn't. I didn't freeze on that, or I didn't uh, I said, actually, I think I said to him, "You can do better." And
mm,
he came back with, because he had, Marcus started. I mean, Marcus is such a virtuose guitar player, but he started practicing piano like every day, and we listen a lot to Beethoven,
mm,
his piano sonatas, and so Marcus practices, and I know that he likes to practice on pieces uh, that he writes himself, and that sounds nice. And this
yeah.
was actually like a practicing piece that he did every day. And then I was like, what is that? I like that. So we added that to the beginning of this song, and I think it became quite nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, over here it's a big thing that they call it walk-up music, or your walk-in music when you walk into the room. What music would you want to have playing to introduce yourself? I would want the intro to this song as my outro music, as I'm going
Yeah.
off into the sunset,
Yeah. It's like
type of thing.
you could go out with a bang
Yeah,
suddenly.
exactly.
Yeah.
Now there's
Yeah.
a long word in here. Uh, it's a Freud word, correct? That it's to describe like hindsight, post vision, like deja vu. Is that how you're using it? And I can't remember. I meant to write the word, and I'm looking at my notes, and I didn't.
Oh, it's a German term or a Freudian term. It's in German. It's Nachträglichkeit.
There you
Uh,
go.
that's correct. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Did I have the right interpretation of it, or how are you using it in the song?
The meaning of the term, or
Yeah, the
yeah,
meaning.
yeah. Well, um, it's actually about perception, and it is. Uh, and the phrase is, "Tell me, are you really real or Nachträglichkeit?" It's like, is this a mental construction that I'm making afterwards, or after the actual event?
Okay.
Um, so and I think it think it fitted really nicely, and I mean, in my everyday life here in Stockholm, I work as a psychotherapist, so
Right.
this is quite it's these theories are dear to me and interesting to me. So
Definitely.
and also I think it's quite it's intriguing to throw in a German word.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Final track is, of course, the title track, Between You, God, the Devil, and the Dead. The I couldn't even put into words what the words and the music, and then I was watching the video, and wow, this song is just a total package of. Uh, it's therapeutic. This song, I think,
Oh.
um, amazing, amazing lyrics, amazing music, amazing track. We talked about it a little. Is there anything more you can tell me about how this track came to be this way?
Mhm. Well, it's afterwards. I mean, now it's been a while since it's been ready and or finished, and well, things are never finished. But if you ask me, but
Yeah.
I think I rewrote that verse 4 or 5 times. It was difficult to get it right. You know, it's I think it's I I love that we are able to have this variety, and our music allows us to write and to produce music.
Mm,
uh, It's so dynamic.
yeah.
Um, yeah, but uh, these pieces, uh, and I don't know if anyone would call this a ballad. I don't know how to what kind of
Yeah.
term you would use, but anyhow, uh, I think it's more difficult to give this the sort of the edge and the sound that I think it deserves. So, um, and you know, if there wasn't any deadline, if it was up to me, we would probably never have released any album because I'm never finished. And you know, I could work on the details forever. But I'm glad to hear that many seem to like it and take this song to their heart. And I've had people saying, as you do now, that it's therapeutic, and I'm happy for that, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to put into words the emotions I was feeling as I was listening to it and reading the lyrics. You know, the whole album. I mean, you've got 8 tracks here. It's just over 43 minutes, but it's perfect. It's, and I'm not,
Oh,
I'm not just, you know, telling you this to hear. You know, it's perfect. I was left, you know, they talk about a really good meal. You want to leave, you want to feed them, but you don't want to be that, have them be over full. You know, you want to leave them wanting
yeah,
more.
yeah.
I didn't really, I mean, I would have taken another song, sure, but it was just, you know, it was awesome. It was an awesome experience to listen to this album.
Thank you.
Um,
And I'm 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 of that opinion as well. You know, I do not enjoy lengthy concerts or albums just for the cause of being long.
right.
The quantity, I want to be left wanting more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it comes to, do you have a song off this album you're looking forward to doing live? Is there one in particular you can't wait to unleash on the stage?
Yeah, actually, I really like Being with the Dead.
Okay.
That riff is. I mean, we of course we had live performance in mind when we wrote this. There's a lot of heavy riffs here and cool
Yeah.
guitars, and Being with the Dead has this awkward uh, guitar riff to
Mm.
begin with, and that one's going to be really cool to play live.
Interesting you say that, because the note I had on that, you know, with the way you sequenced it too, with like lovers get connected to each other, that's a little bit softer. You've got that long solo out of that one, and then it goes right into Being with the Dead. And my 2 notes I have are aggressive and power. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
how, with you having to perform these songs, how closely do you pay attention to the set list, to the ebb and flow? Because not only do you have to ebb and flow the audience, you have to take care of yourself with performing these tracks as well. Does it take quite a bit to putting a live set together?
Well, now at this stage, we have, I mean, this is our sixth album, and so I think we have it's more difficult to pick songs, and you have many darlings in there.
Mm,
So that's more of a problem. I think we have a bulk of great material for
yeah.
stage
Yeah.
performance.
Nice.
So that's probably the main problem. And but in the beginning, I was, you know, I was this, the doom. These long. I mean, our first single was 9 minutes long, and that
Yeah.
was Moon Horse, and that Leif Edling wrote, and I remember being very occupied with what should I do with my body during these long instrumental parts.
Yeah.
And somehow that sorted itself. You know, once you get into the music, it's that the music solves that, and
Yeah.
get into it. Yeah.
Excellent. That's awesome. Let's do a tiny bit of "This Is Your Life." First cassette. I understand you reeled off some of the people that influenced you and you listened to. First cassette you bought was Whitney Houston.
Yeah, I think so actually.
Yeah.
Actually, and I you know, the I Want to Dance with Somebody album. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know how much I must have listened to that, and I was probably 8 years old. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
You sang a lot in your younger days. Even I read where your parents would have to tell you were eating. You need to stop singing.
Yeah. You can read that somewhere. Yeah,
Oh
that's
yeah,
interesting.
it's
Ah,
all there on the internet.
oh, yeah, but that's true. That so yeah, I sang all the time. Yeah. Oh, and if I mean it's that's one of the I like being an adult, but that's probably a sad part of being an adult that people sort of get disturbed if you sing loud everywhere. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, then you got into jazz at around 15 or 16, but you also, dabbled you were in a rock cover band as well, just doing jazz
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, I was 15, and that was my first experience of not having any wedges or monitors. I quickly learned to sing by sort of muscle memory,
Mm.
and you learn to sing without hearing yourself. And I think I have that has been an advantage when you sing with a very loud band.
Do you consider yourself to be like a jazz vocalist who sings rock or a rock vocalist who sings jazz?
No, I think of myself as a singer.
Just
Yeah.
a singer. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that people are quite occupied with these labels, and
Hmm.
I understand that. That brings a certain sense of security. You're safe, and it's like with probably you order from a menu and you know what's safe to order and what you recognize and so on. And music can be similar to that, but and I think that is what is great with Avatarium since the beginning. It's like I. Both Marcus and Leif was very, there was no one interfering with my interpretations. I was free to sing just as I do. I sound like this, and I bring my sound to
Mm.
whatever genre I'm in. So, and that is what makes I think this. It was a lucky accident that we started collaborating, and this is what it sounds like.
Right. Album comes out January 24th. It's called Between You, God, the Devil, and the Dead. What is the label you're on? I did not write that down in my notes. I feel so ashamed.
It's AFM.
AFM Records, of course. That's what I
Yeah.
was going to say that. I thought that's what it was, but I
Mhm.
wanted to be sure before I
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
it. Very cool. I have a few. Let's see. You got a couple of dates lined up. I'm trying. I got like 10 minutes left on my time here, and I want to get a couple more things in. You've
Yeah.
got a Rock Castle Fest in the Czech Republic booked in August. I see you've just announced
Yeah.
another one on your Facebook page in July. You doing mostly festivals next year?
Yeah, we have actually we have some nice offers that we're discussing at the moment. So there will be festivals in Europe this summer, which is great. Yeah.
Excellent. Was there anything in this discussion that you didn't get to talk about the album? A question somebody hasn't asked you, somebody wanted to say about anything?
No, I think I mean I'm uh, it's I think you know your fan base and what your listeners might be interested in hearing about and me talking about, of course. But I mean, what occupies me is the music and and of course mainly the songwriting because that is such a challenge
Mhm.
to write meaningful music. I mean, there are so many. I mean, so many releases, album releases a year, and we I mean, I'm occupied with making something and creating music that is
Mm.
fulfilling and interesting to me, and So of course it's a lucky situation to be able to grow and write music for a great band. I mean,
Absolutely.
these,
Absolutely.
the guys in the band, Marcus Idell and Mats Rydström and Andreas Hobby Johansson, are great musicians. So that has been lucky for me. I have to challenge myself and work
Mm.
harder and be the absolute best songwriters that I can be.
Yeah, absolutely. Fabulous album. Before I let you go, I always like to finish up with a few fun questions. This is just first thing that pops into your head. Sound good?
Oh, difficult. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. What do I have here? Would you rather have the power to be invisible or to read minds?
To be invisible, probably, because
To be,
reading minds would be very tough, I think.
all
Yeah.
right. Uh, Given your choice of household chores, would you rather do dishes or the laundry?
Uh, well, I did the dishes today, so
Okay.
uh, yeah,
I did too. So
good. We we did it. Yep.
yeah. What do we got here? So you're hungry. What are you going to grab for a midnight snack?
Yeah, I don't have any midnight snacks. I try
No?
to
Okay.
no nightly eating for me. No.
All right. Favorite toy growing up as a child?
Hmm. Oh, well, no, I grew up in the countryside, so well, that was, and such a long time ago.
Hmm.
We played with wooden sticks and so on. No,
Yeah.
I
Hey.
don't, I don't, stones and wooden sticks. I don't remember, but it was a long time ago. Yeah,
Yeah. It's the simple things sometimes, that you
yeah,
use your imagination, you know?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
Favorite city you've ever been to?
I love Stockholm. I'm happy that I live here, of
Hmm.
course. But there are so many great cities, and that's the advantage of the
Yeah.
touring. And of course, especially Europe, we have all these. Maybe not just you tend to think of the capitals, but there are so many beautiful towns and cities in Europe. So I wouldn't be
Definitely.
able to pick one.
Yeah. Would you rather travel back in time and meet your ancestors or forward in time and meet your great grandchildren?
I I wouldn't I wouldn't want to travel in time.
No?
I'm so blessed to 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 live this life I live. We live in this peaceful corner of the world, and that
Yeah,
is not to be taken for granted.
definitely.
And I have, as far as I know, I have health, and I have this, and my life is filled with challenges and these uh, this I mean I'm able to work with music, and I also have another career that that I take great pleasure in. So I'm so lucky and feel so privileged
Right
in
here, right now.
right here, right
Yeah.
now.
Last one. This is the one we have the most fun with. If they were to make a biopic of your life, a bio movie of your life, what
Oh,
actress would you pick to play you? And it's your movie, your life. You can pick anybody.
oh, oy, 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 oy. Oh, there are so many great ones. And if you had sent me these questions, I would, give these
Well, this is
quick
where it's fun. It's the first thing
quick
that's in
and
your mind,
quick and
What
smart
who was
answers.
the first person that popped into your mind?
Um, well, you think of someone who resembles you, or
Mm,
anything like that. That be, I would probably just regret afterwards. But
mm.
there's a Swedish actress called, and you wouldn't know her. Her
Okay.
name is Lena Endre, and she's a
Okay. I'll
great
have to look her up.
actress.
Excellent. Jennie-Ann, I want to thank you very much for your time this evening. I know it's getting late in the day over there in Sweden. Once again, you are the lead vocalist for Avatarium. The album Between You, God, the Devil, and the Dead comes out January 24th on AFM Records. I wish you much success with the album. And
Thank
when it
you.
comes to going to these festivals and tours and stuff, may
Yeah.
all your travels be safe and your shows sold out.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Anytime. You take care of yourself, and hopefully we'll talk to you when the next album comes out.
I would love to.
All righty. Bye bye.
Mm.
Enjoy your evening.
Take care, you too. Bye. Bye.